Welcome to the Mike on Much podcast. I'm your host, Mike Veerman. I'm here with my friend and trusted producer, Max Kerman, as well as our pop culture aficionado, Shane Cunningham, and intern Erica, working the dials. Guys, how's it going?
Feeling pretty good.
Great.
Woo. Big weekend.
Big weekend.
Huge weekend.
Huge weekend. We're recording this on a Monday after work. It's just past 5. I want to start, though, before we get into our typical freedom-esque type topics. Big news. Shane and I also record another podcast called The Pedestal. We're very proud of it. It's very fun. We do it with our friend Jonathan Poplis, who is a Mensa member, and we bring that up quite often on that podcast.
Yeah, he's a 6'5"er, too.
6'5"er, big boy.
Yeah.
Lots of thoughts on movies. This is why we do the podcast.
Just recently found out he's also
fellow Jew.
A fellow Jew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a bit of a surprise in his family. We'll let him tell.
Do you know
that
what I
story.
said when he told me?
What did you say?
Oy vey. That's what I said.
Because
No,
aren't
but
you
oy vey means
also?
That's like a problem, right? Oy vey.
Yeah, I'm just glad I said
No,
something
but
Jewish.
what do you say if you're Jewish and you're giving congrats, though?
Mazel tov.
Mazel tov.
That's what you should have said,
Yeah.
not oy vey.
Well, I spun a dreidel afterwards to make up for it.
This podcast is brought to you by Ancestry.com, where John got that information. So we do a podcast called The Pedestal. We did a season 1. We did 10 full episodes. That's 10 movies. We did all sorts of fun movies. What was in the first season? Anything jump to your mind?
Dumb and Dumber.
3 years
Dumb
ago.
and Dumber was in that
we did
season.
Star Trek. Your
was in-
favorite
I
show
am
turned into a movie.
I am a fan of the Star Trek. So we've done a full season 2. We recorded 10 episodes. They all just dropped today on Spotify, on iTunes, everywhere you find podcasts. Put in the Pedestal Podcast. Again, it's me, Shane, and John. And just so you know, because we want you guys to listen to these things because they were so fun to record, just 3 dudes sitting around shooting the shit about films. On the Mike on Much feed, we are going to be releasing a new episode of The Pedestal on our feed once a week for 10 weeks. So on Friday, every Friday, you will get an episode of The Pedestal. I keep saying The Pedestal because I want people to remember this is the podcast.
Subscribe.
Subscribe, please. Give us a rating on iTunes. Our first episode this Friday that you will get on the Mike on Much feed is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which is a movie from 1990 and all of our youth. I'll just read you a quick description so you get a feel for what it is. After sharing the different impacts karate class had on our own childhoods, because we go into sort of our own lives, the impact that the movies had on us, what we were into, and because of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, we all got into karate. Did you do that as well, Max?
I did a little karate, yeah.
Yeah, what'd you get to?
Maybe like yellow belt or
I quit
something.
after yellow belt.
too. Everyone quit
Same,
the yellow.
so did I.
Hey, all right, so if we ever get in a street fight, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And who our favorite Ninja Turtle was. We begin the case for keeping it on the pedestal with how well the look of the turtles themselves have held up over the years. We debate Casey Jones's claustrophobic joke. We gush over the movie's use of flashbacks and examine some of the bold artistic choices made in a kid's action movie. We move on to the case for knocking it off the pedestal with all the things that bothered us about Shredder and that punk kid Danny. Jonathan Poplis dives into the issues with the movie's pro-vigilantism, and Shane asks the question we've all pondered for years, are the turtles sexual beings? Because they all have a crush on April, and so we're just, where could that inevitably lead?
Interesting.
These are the topics we discuss, and then at the end we come up with a verdict. We decide to either keep this movie on the pedestal or knock it off. We will be letting you know every week which new one will be released on our feed.
So I was listening to the He Got Game episode today.
You listened to our episode?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
and because I love He Got Game and fan of the pod. I loved your rapping. Can you give us a little sample?
Oh, Shane rapped in that
Oh,
episode.
because I love that song so much. He got game, you got game, we got game. Fuck the game. You really say nothing.
Might feel good. It might sound a little something, but fuck the game if it don't mean nothing.
Yeah. And I wish, I'm not the cinephile that you guys are, but I feel like I would have liked to participate in that particular one. I think there was conversations about me being involved in that one, and then
you were going to be Space Jam.
Yeah, and then I got lazy, and then you're like, oh, Max does not have time or care that much about it.
But we do have celebrity guests on this.
This season we do.
Yeah.
Hollywood screenwriter Matt Unsworth joins us for Ghost, and then we did Titanic with television personality and new podcaster
and a woman.
That is also true. Chloe Wilde.
Oh, very cool.
For Titanic. It turned out really well.
Nice.
She had a funny perspective of seeing Titanic in the theater as like a 9-year-old. And so like when he's painting her like a French girl, she didn't quite know what to feel.
Wow.
Honestly, it's a really fun podcast to record. Hopefully it's as fun for you guys to listen to. We have extended an invitation for Max to appear on it multiple times. And he was like, yeah, maybe. And then he just
wanders off.
He didn't show up so many times that we just stopped asking.
Yeah. What about Rush Hour? Can we do that one?
Will you come on for season 3 and do Rush Hour?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but I love He Got Game. And
Do you know why we ended up doing He Got Game this
Why?
season? Because last season we did Space Jam, and Michael Jordan's an actor, and I think Shane was like, "Oh, is he like the greatest athlete actor of all time?" Or he's very good in it for an athlete. I said Ray Allen's actually exceptional, and He Got Game. People don't give him enough credit.
Yeah.
Shane then went on to say it basically disparaged Ray Allen's acting. I defended it. So then we're like, in season 2, we're doing it. We're going to get to the bottom of this.
I haven't got to that debate yet in the podcast.
Oh, we
I
go
got-
deep,
I-
yeah,
the
yeah.
first, like,
But
15
Jim
minutes.
Brown is an amazing actor too, who's also
Football
in
player.
that movie. Yeah,
That's right. Former football player.
Oh, crazy.
Yeah. So, Pedestal, again, we'll be talking about it for the next 10 weeks. The Michael Much podcast is brought to you by the Pedestal. And yeah, there you go. And and we'll be releasing it on our feed. So if you're not into movies, just ignore it when it pops up in your feed. Please don't get mad. We just want to bring you more joy.
Oh, yeah. It's highly recommended. And I say that objectively.
So, Erica, have you listened to any Pedestal episodes?
The Dumb and Dumber one, yeah.
And
Oh,
do you know what a Ninja Turtle is?
I do.
Wow.
Yeah. But actually, on the topic of movies, you guys, I went to the movies this weekend.
Whoa,
One of my 3 per year, typically.
whoa!
I saw Midsummer.
Oh. I
Have
really
you
want-
guys seen it?
No, so
No.
don't spoil. Don't spoil.
I'm Ericing out right now because I don't even know what that is.
What is that?
It's-
Are you joking me? Okay,
No.
it's from the same director as Hereditary.
Oh.
And
I
it's
heard
about
this.
that like
Yeah,
culty
yeah.
Swedish thing. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, don't give me anybody that's on the
Holy
list.
shit.
I heard it's mind-blowing.
Okay. That's
Midsummer.
It. Don't say
It's
anything.
I gotta look up the trailer.
insane.
Okay,
Yeah.
Okay,
I'm
okay,
gonna see
okay,
it.
enough.
Oh.
Say no more.
You guys watch it.
Don't
honestly.
ruin it. Shut up.
Yeah.
Okay. sorry. All this information's in the trailer.
She's just saying different words for good, Max.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Well, I think I've told you this. My dad is an insane person. He's generally pretty well adjusted, but when it comes to movies, like he just becomes unbearable, and my mom fucking hates it. So basically, they'll be at a dinner party. Someone brings up like a very popular movie, and if he wants to see it, he'll leave the room. Like some mid conversation, he'll just like walk into the other room, and everybody's like, "Where did Michael just go? He was just talking to us, and now he's not." And so he'll do that, and then also in the movies, he
Like
doesn't.
when you're in the theater.
In the theater, when we're watching a trailer, he'll put his headphones on and blare music really loud. So if you're sitting next to him, it's really embarrassing because he just has his eyes closed and he's like jamming out to Bob Marley or something like while the trailer's going on because he doesn't want to know.
Your dad should be on the pedestal.
Oh,
that'd
yeah,
be awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Does he like talking movies?
He loves talking movies. Oh yeah, and he's got hot takes when he's seen one. But basically, I've probably told this story on the podcast. He the way he came to this sort of mode of watching movies is that in 1970 whatever, he went back to visit his parents in New York City. He had an afternoon off. He went to the movies by himself, and he saw Rosemary's Baby. And I've told this story on the pod, right?
Yeah, but maybe there's a new listener.
So basically, Rosemary's Baby famously has a plot twist, and it blows everybody's mind.
It's been enough time.
Yeah, where it turns out she's been impregnated by the devil,
Satan.
and then but
Rosemary's Baby's father is Satan. There you go.
And he didn't know this twist was coming, and it really blew his mind, and he loved that sensation hitting him. But he's like, if I had read any review in the first sentence, it would have alluded to that. And
The satanic cult lives in this New York apartment building. It was actually shot in the Dakota in New York City.
right there.
Yeah.
And so he's like, I love that feeling of surprise. Oh, we've talked about this. Like, and he didn't know what Brokeback Mountain was about. And he went to see it in TIFF, again, totally blind.
Yeah.
And he's like, cool, buddy cowboy movie. And then it like blew his mind.
Wasn't the only thing that was blown in that movie. So, guys, today, so please listen to the Pedestal. Again, we love recording it with our great friend, Jonathan Popoulos, who I think is great on that podcast as well.
He's good.
He's
He
got hot
comes
takes.
in with like a phone book worth of notes
It's
every time.
crazy.
And you always have an appropriate amount of notes,
I
and
do.
I always have no notes.
You got you have your little book with some scribbles.
Sometimes, yeah. Mainly,
Or maybe you bring it in
We
just
have
so-
a catchphrase that I don't want to spoil it, but we have a catchphrase that we do at the end of every podcast.
Yeah. Or maybe now I'm thinking you just bring the book in to make it seem like you have notes.
I do feel guilty when I look at Pops, but I'm more of a jumper inner guy than I am like a
Setter-upper guy.
Yeah, I'm a bad setter-upper guy.
Okay. So check that podcast out. Today on this episode, guys, there's lots to talk about. Big weekend. Erica went and saw a movie, one of the 3 movies she sees a year. Maxie, you saw Blink 182. The 3 of us, Shane, myself, and Max went to our good friend Jay Kelly's diaper party in Hamilton. So that was a whole thing. And then finally, there was some big news on Saturday morning. One, Finals MVP, champion, Toronto legend, Kawhi Leonard, has decided to go home to Southern California and play for the LA Clippers.
We were all wrong.
We were all wrong. Although I
this
will
pod.
say this is not any sort of I don't want to prize fist or anything, but I had been saying for the last week, if this were a movie, the team he would go to would be the Clippers, only because they're the only team no one's talking about. It's like Lakers, Raptors, and they're the nerdy, quiet kid in the back. It's like She's All That. That's who he would pick.
Yeah.
And then he picked them.
Yeah.
So it's obviously devastating news. And so, dear listeners, the one thing we said in our prep for this episode was let's touch on Kawhi quickly, and then that will be the end, ostensibly, of this as a pseudo NBA podcast.
Yeah,
because it's kind of taken over the theme of our podcast for the last 2 months in this magical playoff run. So let's just sort of sort our feelings, how we learned about the news. The news broke overnight, so I was sleeping, and I woke up at whatever it was, 5:50 in the morning, and I was kind of anticipating, because it's been so long, that I'm going to have a Woj bomb to my phone. And so I trained my eyes to look quickly at the push notification, and I see Kawhi, I see Clippers, then I see Paul George. So I'm like, oh man, I grabbed my phone. I was sleeping on the couch because the cats are being crazy, so Danica was in the bedroom with the baby, and I just went, fuck, because I was kind of surprised that they also got Paul George. Mm-hmm. And then 2 minutes later, Danica came out of the bedroom with the baby, and she goes, sorry, babe, but hey, banners hang forever. Mm-hmm. And I go, how long have you known? She's like, I've known for about half an hour. I was up with the baby. I go, why didn't you wake me up and tell me? She goes, I wanted you to sleep a little longer in a world where Kawhi was still a Raptor.
It's just very sweet.
And then,
so intense.
And then I go, if he had stayed, would you have woke me up? She's like, oh, definitely.
Yeah.
So I was like, and then we came into Hamilton for this diaper party, but it's all anyone could really talk about was the Kawhi Leonard thing. How did you find out?
So I was out on Friday night, and
were you out late enough to get the news?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So Lauren was hanging out with some friends, and I was hanging out with some friends, and at around 1 a.m, she texts me. She's like, let's meet up. And so we meet up at Bathurst and Dundas, and we go to McDonald's, and we're walking home back to our apartment and just having a great time. And we were kind of up, and because we each had a couple drinks, and it was maybe 2:30 in the morning, and I checked my phone, and that's where I got the news. And immediately I got very, very sad. But Lauren has, Danica is very sweet to you and knows how much this means. Lauren has no patience. Lauren gives not one fuck. She's like, they're grown men throwing a fucking ball in a hoop. It doesn't fucking matter. It's a fucking game. And then she's like, yo, this is not going to ruin our night. We're having an amazing night. We just had McDonald's. We're both in a great mood. I don't have to go to work tomorrow. And you're over in the corner pouting, looking at your phone fuck you, bro.
I fucking love
Lauren
Lauren.
imitation cannot be accurate. I know Lauren. She's nothing like this. She's like a whiny Jewish woman. Who's like, fuck listen.
Pull yourself together.
It's why did you have a New York accent all of a sudden?
Yeah.
No. Well, but she did scold me. I'll say that. And so
what did you say to that? Were you like, you're right, that's the pep talk?
No, I said no, this is important though. I don't know. I try, but then I was also like, you know what? I'll put my phone away and I'll deal with it in the morning. But I will say it's been tough because our favorite thing is when something in the NBA happens is just listening to our favorite podcasts like Zach Lowe or Bill Simmons specifically and getting the rundown on their thoughts on it. That's my favorite part about basketball fandom. And of course, the next morning, Zach Lowe and Woj have a podcast together and Bill Simmons has a podcast. And I'm like, I'm not ready to listen to it. It took me I didn't listen till yesterday. So it took me an extra day to be and I kind of take a deep breath and go, okay, let's see what this is all about. And it was a tough listen. Mm-hmm. It was a melancholy listen. My stomach was in knots the whole time. But that's part of the road to recovery.
2 days it took me. And then I listened to all the stuff that you were listening to and reading the hot takes.
Yeah. But it was actually kind of nice though, because the next day we were going to this diaper party and we were all together. So it felt like a bit of a support group to a degree where we're you know what, everybody's going through a bit of a situation here with Kawhi leaving, and it was nice to be around you guys.
But I don't know. I felt like Mikey wasn't partying the way he might if Kawhi had stayed. Because you kind of do a thing where you go, you know what? I'm oddly cool with this. And then you'll present like you're okay. But I felt like you were a little not the same Mikey.
Well,
and you end up going home at 8 o'clock.
I know. Well, the problem is we started drinking at noon, and I should have. We'll discuss this in a minute. But Shane, you're on a very smart eating schedule. I should have followed you with the pizza. I didn't eat anything all day, so
it's a classic Veerman misstep.
Big time.
Yeah.
You think we learn that? Anyway, but first, before we get to that, Shaney, where did you hear the news?
Well, I heard it in bed in the morning when I looked at my phone. I guess I read it, and I'm a high anxiety person, and high anxiety people, when the worst possible thing happens, it's oddly calming because you're always preparing for it. So I was like, oh, this is what I was always fearing, and it happened. And I was like, okay, I'm actually cool with this. But I still had like he's a traitor piece of shit type of thing, you know. I was, even though he went home, he always said he was going home. I still have the like, you're a traitor.
Mm-hmm. You had that feeling. You
I
felt
do.
betrayed.
A little bit,
Sure.
yeah.
Sure. Where'd you hear, Erica?
Yeah, I heard it Saturday morning as well. My dad called me and woke me up. And then he was at a golf tournament in Toronto. He's like, do you want to come home tonight? I can drive you home. And I was like, no. And then he was like, Kawhi left. And I was like, what? Really? And then I hung up, and then I just went onto the internet and read about it briefly.
But I don't think Kawhi is a traitor or a piece of shit. Like,
And I did feel oddly good about it.
Yeah.
And it
Just that night, you were a different Mike.
Well, I would have been more celebratory, but I think that I was like, I honestly was fine with it. And like my world, I am obviously a very large fan, but like I do have perspective and I know what matters in the world, and we're all of our health, and none of this really matters. But it's like, this is the thing I'm a fan of. I don't play video games. I'm into NBA basketball and the Raptors, obviously. I think if he had gone to the Lakers, I actually would have been like crushed. Weirdly. Mm-hmm. But because he managed to like weirdly sort of operate clandestinely in the background and get Paul George to go to the Clippers with them, and it was like he didn't want to go team up with LeBron and AD. He wanted to go to the Clippers. But I do think that it became quite obvious he didn't want to stay in Toronto. He wanted to go to Southern California.
That's why I get wanting to go home, and I think more players would just want to always kind of go back to where they're from, especially if they're from California. And the fact that like Paul George was even entertaining the idea of maybe coming to Toronto or staying in Oklahoma City Thunder, that to me is weird. So I totally get why Kawhi does that. It still felt bad to me because it felt like you're getting broken up with. It's like we did everything we could. Like I literally like anything you wanted, I was there, and we also succeeded together. This is me like talking as if I'm like the city of Toronto, and I still wasn't pretty enough for you or something. You know, like it still felt like we're getting broken up with because we weren't good enough for him.
Sure.
Yeah.
But he did leave us with the greatest gift anyone could
Of course,
leave us with.
yeah.
Like we have the championship.
Yeah.
And I would, if he did stay, I would have had that awesome feeling as like, aha, everyone thought he was going to leave like in America. Yeah. And he stayed, see how good Toronto is. But then I would immediately start getting worried, like, what if we don't win the championship this year?
He'll ask for a trade.
I would start feeling like, oh, what if we don't win it twice? You know, and then I'd get anxiety over that. So I'm just riding the high of having won the championship.
How do we think Toronto will react when he comes back to get his ring? So,
oh my God, he's
on
the most
Clippers.
loved man in Toronto history.
He remains that way, right?
Yeah.
I know I feel that way, but
standing ovation. Like people are talking about putting up a statue, which I was jokingly talking about.
That should not happen.
No.
That shouldn't. I'm down with like in 15 years if they want to retire his number. I'm cool with that. Like what he did is unique. I don't think people realize how incredibly hard it is to win an NBA championship. Like it honestly, like I'm not even being like hyperbolic. I really didn't know if it would happen in my lifetime. So the fact that I got to witness one and that Kawhi brought it to us and we have this sort of magical bottle episode of a season, it's just like it happened. It was unique. It was like this little pearl, and it's maybe not replicable, but it's like it happened. We were there. It was the greatest feeling in the world, and now the NBA goes back to sort of the way it was.
Yeah, it was the highest high we've ever experienced, and I'll always be thankful for that.
So I do feel okay with it, and I don't think I'm doing that thing where I'm like burying my feelings and not really sharing my true feelings. I honestly feel that way.
Yeah, I think I might have said this to you on the weekend. Like the reason why we loved Kawhi is that he was always like very level-headed. He wasn't like overly emotional. He didn't get like attached to things or throw tantrums or say things that you're like, are you going to take that back? Are you going to want to take that back? Are you going to regret that? He was always just like so focused and workmanlike about it. And then we're like, that's why we fucking love him. And he didn't participate in any drama. He always just kind of went about his business. And like for those same reasons is why he left. He's just like, you know what? I have a better opportunity to play in LA. That team, actually the West is a little bit more open this year. That team's really good. I can go home. That's why I'm going to do it.
That's what I always said I was going to do.
I always said I was going to do it. And I'm like, yeah. So.
And honestly, like when you listen to him on stage at the parade, he's like, "We did this. Enjoy the moment." It was always in the moment.
Yeah.
Always in the moment. Like you said, other players would get swept up and they'd be like, "This is the greatest city in the world. Let's do it again," or something.
I know that every other player does that.
He always kept his head about him.
Yeah.
Like, he was always just like, "Enjoy this, live in the moment," and always gave himself the out. Maybe I'll go back. But I think it was like, no, I got to get my ass back to Southern California. And he did it.
No, it's true. He was very zen about it. He's always like, I just want to go out there, have fun. This is the best years of my life. I'm just happy to be healthy, and that's what it's all about. I got my family here. This is nice. Like,
And he died the hero. He didn't live long enough to become the villain. Like Shane says, what if he comes back and halfway through next year he blows out his quad and we're spending a shit ton of money on him?
Could very well happen.
And
he
everyone
almost
gets upset.
fucked himself up in the playoffs.
Totally.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was magical.
Yeah.
I say thank you, Kawhi. Good luck on the Clippers with everything. And now I'm excited to get back to how we root for the Raptors. You know, who we signing? Are there gonna be trades? What are we gonna do? Masai is the man.
I have kind of a bold prediction.
Ooh, hit me.
That I was running by you today.
Okay.
I think Pascal is going to win MIP 2 years in a row. Be the first player to do so.
Wow. So he's going to make another jump.
Yep.
Wow.
Because now he's the guy, as Mike was kind of, because I was bringing it up kind of as a hypothetical, but you're like, actually, Shane, he's the guy now.
Yes.
So the ball's just going to go through him. So he could get I think 5 or 6 more points a game.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
And the league, by the way, not to make this too much about basketball, is going to be so entertaining next year.
As an NBA fan,
oh my god, as
oh
an
my
NBA
God.
fan, it's incredible.
I
love all the moves.
This is the other thing
Minus
is
Kawhi.
we really are. We're not Raptors fans. We are Raptors fans, diehard Raptors fans. But we're NBA fans. We have been, and I think that was by necessity. Because when I started getting into basketball in 2000, the Raptors have kind of historically they've been so bad from 2000 and from 2004 on. That you kind of had to root for other teams. It's I'm into the Steve Nash Phoenix Suns, or I'm into the Dirk Nowitzki Dallas
Into the
Mavericks.
Thunder.
I love the Spurs. Manu Ginobili is my favorite player. All that stuff. It's because it was that, or well, I wonder if these Chris Bosh, Jose Calderon Raptors are going to make it to the second round. It's so you become a fan of the league. And to your point, Max, I think the league's going to be super fun next year.
Yeah.
Well,
Anyways.
does that wrap the NBA for
Let's
us?
wrap it up.
We'll never talk about the NBA again on this
No, we
podcast.
probably find a reason.
Doubtful.
But
Who's better,
September's
Clippers or
gonna
Lakers?
roll
you think?
around.
Clippers or Lakers? I think the Clippers are better. I think the Clippers are going to be
I
better than the
completely
Lakers.
agree.
Yeah, deeper team. Yeah. But
Wait, I just wrapped it, and you guys talked about basketball.
sorry. Okay. Now we're done talking about basketball.
Officially. Like Erica said, wait till September rolls around.
Yeah.
All right, so on the docket for today in this episode, the thing we're going to start with is... I've already forgotten, Maxie. What is it?
We're going to talk about the weekend, but we're also going to talk about the U.S. women's soccer victory.
team.
Can we talk about dominoes too?
Yeah, well, you know what? Let's just free flow.
Okay,
All right.
let's hit the weekend. Everyone have a good time this weekend?
We had a great time. Well,
I think you guys partied the worst, I think.
yeah. So
out
tell
of
us about it.
everybody.
So you got home at 4:30 in the morning after the diaper party. This is Saturday
You're a
night.
machine, brother.
4 a.m., yeah.
So where were you? What were you doing so late?
Well, I went to every bar in Hamilton.
Which is the diaper party. Is really just an excuse to go on a
It's a pub
bar
crawl.
crawl.
And
yeah.
guys were just dropping like flies, But I really look forward to partying, and I ate accordingly. Like, you put up a video of me he gone, and kind of gave the perception to our fans that I left the party midday.
Yeah.
But no, I was going back for more pizza.
Yeah.
Because someone had bought me a slice, so I ate the slice. And then when I started feeling too drunk, I was like, I need another slice. And then when I started feeling too drunk again, I'd eat a roast beef sandwich.
You make it sound so simple.
And then at 4 a.m., I'm like, uh-oh, too drunk, gonna get in trouble. What do? Burrito.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
And it was just me and my friend Peek at the very end.
Oh, nice.
And we went to a drag show at 2:30 at Absinthe. They had a fun drag show going on, so that was
Nice.
fun. And then got home at 4. Had to wake up at 7 because the kid, runs in like, Dad, I love you or whatever. And then I wasn't even hungover.
Wow.
Not even hungover. I drank water in between all the alcohol. It was perfect.
What did Alex do? I'm always curious to know what Alex is doing on a night that you're going out, just
think
because
just
she's competitive.
Yeah, and I think just obsessively checking Instagram, putting together, The Wire. They have that board where they try to figure out what everyone's actually doing.
The events of the night.
Exactly.
Figure out a timeline of what we did and where we went.
Yeah, and then in the morning I'll get a little bit of a quiz, so what did you do? And I'm a very bad, I'm more of a jump-in guy. I'm not more of a
Setter-upper.
setting up the setter-upper exposition person. So I'm like, I don't know. She's like, oh, did you go here? Full well knowing because she's pieced it together through. I'm like, yes, I did. And then I'll jump in with a good little witty remark, and then she'll laugh, and then I'm okay. But I was a little bit tired, so I felt like I was losing points there because she wanted to go out and get ice cream and everything. So I was like, just give me a little bit without the baby. Then I went back to sleep for maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, even though I was not hungover at all. This is just because I needed to sleep.
Yeah.
And then I went out and played with the kid and all that. So
That was
was
a good
good.
boy.
Yeah, it was a perfect weekend for that.
So I saw Julian the next day because we ended up going to Blink-182 together.
Yeah, I want to hear all about this.
Yeah, but by the way, but you got a hotel in Hamilton and just went to bed early.
Yeah,
Yeah, that sounds pretty awesome.
Yeah, well, because like I said, we didn't really plan our eating well. Shane did. No one else had roast beef sandwiches just showing up out of nowhere every time you would feel a little bit hungry. But yeah, because so we go to Academia in Hamilton, and at this point it's like 7:30. But we've been drinking since noon at the we were at Hamilton Forge. It's like the soccer team.
Yeah,
that's how we started the day at like a soccer game. And at that point I'm like, shit, I need to eat. Like honestly, like how are we doing this? And I was doing good. I would like when we went to Monarch, I had 4 glasses of water. You come strolling in like 2 hours after we're already into the session. You're like, round of shots. I'm like, oh, Max is trying to jump on the car as it's driving.
Yeah.
And I gave my shot to Rob School. I was like, yo, I'm not doing this
like
round.
an adult. Yeah,
Like an adult. So I was kind of all right there, still didn't eat. And then we went to the next bar where the jukebox was, and someone was playing S Club 7.
Oh, yeah.
And we're like breakdancing, and it was very, very fun.
I ended up actually taking a video of that and sent it to Natalie Prass. Cause I'm like, this is the song you didn't know. Do you remember we talked about that?
Yes.
Yeah, she never got back to me about
Oh, yeah. Who dis? New phone. Yeah. So then, by the time we got to Academia, I was like, I need to eat. And there's this restaurant. So I used to live on James North in Hamilton. So I'm like, it's like my old hood. So I'm like, I love Born and Raised. I want the stone oven pizza.
Very good.
I'm fucking hammered. I'm going. So I just sort of like did that thing where, because it's only like 2 blocks over from where we were. So the whole gang, all the Champagne boys are drinking. I sneak over to Born and Raised. I sit down. I'm like, want a seat, please? And by the way, it's like 7:30 at night.
And it's a nice restaurant. It's kind of like a family place, like upscale kind of.
It is. And I'm literally in like my New Balance coat, probably stink like Budweiser. I got, my champion hat on. They give me my 1 seat. I order water. I'm like, I don't even need a menu. I would just love a margarita pizza out of the stone oven. They're like, well, yeah, we don't have any other ovens. And so I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for my pizza, and then my phone, I get a FaceTime, and it's you, Maxie.
Ah.
And you're like, where are you right now? Where are you? And you're with like Julian and all those guys. And the FaceTime, I'm like, I'm a Born and Raised. But now I realize I'm yelling because I got the headphones in too, right? And there's people beside me. I'm like, I'm at Born and Raised. I'm getting a stone oven margarita pizza. And you go, flip the phone and show me the street. So then I show you the street. You see 5-star cars. So you go, okay, cool. Come back to Academia. I go, okay. I eat my pizza. It's way too hot, but I'm starving. So I crush it, go back to Academia, walk in. Everyone's there. People are like wrestling and doing all the same shit that Champagne boys do. Like some guys are playing pool. Other guys are wrestling. Shirts are coming off.
Arm wrestling.
Yeah. No, and then also some physical stuff. And then,
okay.
and then someone hands me a Budweiser because they're cheap at Academia. So what happens is someone will go and just buy
I think
10.
it's Academica.
Is it Academica?
I think so.
Oh, I'm a bad Hamiltonian.
That's whatever.
So anyway, I had half of that beer, and I was like, because I was going to stay at your place in Hamilton. But I was like, you know what? I don't have the wife and kid tonight. I do not want to sleep on a couch. I'm just going to go. I'm going to go pay for a hotel. Yeah. So I was like, but here was my plan. Because at this point, it was like 8:30. I was like, I'm going to go book the hotel. I'm going to drop off my coat. I'm like, I'm literally just going to close my eyes for 40 minutes.
Oh, no.
And then I'm going to join the gang. So I called Danica and I'm explaining things. But obviously, again, like I'm very drunk. So I'm just like, oh yeah, I've checked in a hotel. She's like, you're in a hotel? And she's at home with the baby. So she's probably like, you piece of shit. Like, I hope you're enjoying yourself.
Yeah, the air conditioning's awesome. The
It
bed,
was, too.
it's a
man.
king size bed. No fucking baby.
And then, so I closed my eyes for 45 minutes. I woke up at like maybe 1:45. I was like, fuck. I was like, I think I've missed all the good times. And that was that.
Hey, we did some arm wrestling.
We did, and I know what you want me to say, Max. You're very strong.
What? What?
I just remember that we arm wrestled. I beat you, right?
I don't think you and I did.
No, we didn't. Who did I beat?
I got scared of you because you started beating guys I didn't think you could beat.
I think I beat Felix.
But here's the weird thing: Felix murdered me.
Uh-huh.
Then Jay Kelly murders Felix. Then I murder Jay Kelly.
Yeah.
Isn't that weird?
But you were scared to do Max?
Well, yeah, because I started feeling good, and I like leaving on a high on an arm wrestle. But then I was like, if Max beats me, I'm going to feel on a low. And you're all humble, too, because I was like, you're so strong. You're like, no, I'm not. And you look skinnier, too, so it's embarrassing. But I'll do you right now if you want to go for it.
Should we do it right now?
It could be
Let's do
interesting.
it.
Let's do it.
Arm wrestles work on podcasts,
clear
right?
the table. Hold on, Erica's going to get the thing
shit.
fired up. Oh, this is so fun. I can tell now that Max is feeling confident because he didn't hesitate.
No, I just think it's good content. Always be contenting.
Would you like to borrow my stand?
So it's like, does this make sense?
Yeah, my hands are just sweating.
Yeah, me too.
Okay. Are you a righty or a lefty?
Right.
Okay, here we go. We got Max and Shane. The arms are on the table.
Can I have the option to go left?
Sure.
Okay.
But change it.
All right, guys. So I'm going to put my hand here, and then I'm going to lift it. So 1, 2, 3, lift will be the thing, and then you guys got to go. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, go. Wow, that started early. Oh my God, that was quick work.
Okay.
Are you okay? I'll hurt my back. Okay. I pull my back. That certainly kind of fucked me up. Okay, go.
What? We're going. Wait, round 2.
No, left is different.
Oh, now we're doing left hand.
Okay. Okay, so Max wins round 1.
Yeah. Just something's wrong with my back now.
Oh jeez. Okay, ready? So
Wait, don't jump the gun.
yes, somebody jump the gun. So it's 1, 2, 3, lift. You gotta wait till I lift. Okay, ready? 1, 2, 3, go. Oh my God.
Whoa.
Shane's left is good, but Max has him.
Fuck you!
Oh my God! This is crazy. Wow.
Oh man, that was good.
Why is your left hand stronger if you're right-handed?
I can't say on the mic.
He said he can't say on the mic.
You know what's funny though? I'm actually kind of ambidextrous. So I write with my left, and I'm more left-handed than you are.
No, do you know what happened? I broke my arm when I was 18, and then I got
In an arm wrestle.
You should see the other guy, but I got really good at doing everything with my left hand.
Oh yeah, cool.
And then it just became a game.
More of
Even
a
when my
dominant.
right arm got better, my left I became better at certain things.
Man.
So is it a draw?
Yeah,
It's a draw.
Draw.
That's good. That's
Yeah,
good.
I like that. But anyway, so Julian, who's our most kind of physically comedic friend, would you say?
Oh, yeah.
He's he's a great physical comedian.
Like he does mime.
Yeah, he's amazing. He basically had this bit where he'd pick up Jay Kelly and swing him around like a helicopter, basically, and just take out anything in his way, which is very funny. They did this at every single bar. He'd also do a thing where he'd flex for anybody looking at him and hit his bicep with his other hand. And then I saw him the next day at Blink-182, and both of his arms were totally bruised.
Oh my!
His
Did
biceps,
you see the one game they were playing?
because he was just hitting himself the whole day.
No, they started playing a game where you get your knuckles and you go like that.
Oh.
And Peak and Jay Kelly played this game. And Peak is our strongest friend. Maybe Dan Hamilton, but probably Peak at this
Yeah.
point. And Jay Kelly murdered Peak.
Wow.
Murdered. Look at Peak's arm.
Yeah, but see,
Wait,
Jay
what do
was
you do with your knuckles?
you hit the
They
muscle.
kind of flex and you hit the muscle.
Like down like that.
Yeah.
It looks like he was stabbed in the bicep.
See, but Jay Kelly, who's his diaper party, by the way, he's going to have a baby within the next month. I feel like he really committed. It was his day, so he was so drunk that I don't think he was feeling the pain. So, I think he was able to sustain in a thing like that, because you know how you don't feel the pain in the moment? I think he was just numb through alcohol consumption.
But it was more than feeling. It actually showed. Or maybe Peak has easily bruisable skin.
Right.
But get him to send you a picture. It's disgusting.
No, I'll skip that.
Yeah.
But,
So anyway, so the next day we saw Julian because we drunkenly actually made a plan to go see Blink-182.
Julian's all-time favorite band.
Yeah, Julian's all-time favorite band. So your brother Greg, Dan, Julian, and I go to the concert. And I've never seen Jules happier. He was literally like a kid at Christmas. Julian's love for Blink-182 has not faded since he was 17 years old. And he's seen them now for 20 years, basically. Because, when did that first record come out? 99?
Who knows?
Yeah, so he's been into it forever. And I got the most gushing email the next day from Julian just thanking us for the experience. It was just
Sorting all that out.
Yeah, it's
well,
very
also a Bud stage. You're you're the king of Bud stage. You
Yeah,
just
so
walk in, get good seats.
They hooked
Did
us
you
up.
do the VIP lounge and all that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Open
Yeah.
bar?
No.
Did you get to meet the band?
No. But anyway, Blink-182 is really interesting to me because they've been doing it for a long time, and it seems like their business is basically as good as ever. The show is sold out, and there's a lot of enthusiastic fans there. But Tom DeLonge is not in the band.
I know.
Yeah, when we saw them 4 years ago, you were at that show, right? Or who was at the show?
No, I wasn't at that.
Okay, but Tom was in the band. I think he had left the band, but he just came back, so there was excitement there. But now the guy who sings all Tom's parts is the singer of Alkaline Trio, and it's fucking crazy though because he looks like Tom DeLonge and he sounds, at least to my ears, like Tom DeLonge. And I'm just thinking, I wonder how many people here who don't follow Blink-182 that closely even realize that that's not Tom DeLonge. Because if you're just like a casual fan who likes their hits and bought tickets up on the lawns, there's a very good chance you have no clue that it's not Tom DeLonge. And I was like, man, they really pulled it off because, we've seen other instances where, like for instance, Bare Naked Ladies, Steven leaves the band. It doesn't really quite feel the same. Like I still love Bare Naked Ladies.
Because Steven has one of the hardest voices to duplicate.
Totally.
Everyone here is a Tom imitation.
Yeah, that's true. I miss you,
don't waste your time on me. You're already the voice inside my head. The key is to say yed.
Yeah, I wanted to get to the yed part. And obviously the Bare Naked Ladies probably like their business probably has suffered because Steven's not in the band. And even though other Bare Naked Ladies members will sing the Steven songs and they still sing the Steven songs,
it's like Bare Naked Ladies karaoke.
Yeah, it's not quite the same. But Blink-182 has kind of pulled off this thing where like one half of the songs and the big songs too are sung by a guy not even in the band anymore, and no one seems to care. Like there wasn't anybody who were like, this is just not the same. The experience was basically the same. I think the only maybe difference is that Tom and Mark had like a good rapport on stage where they like.
That's half the bit. Their comedy.
Yeah, their comedy, and he doesn't. He's not quite as funny. So Mark kind of had to do a little bit more of the heavy lifting. But I'd just be really fascinated to know like what the business agreement is there. Like, is Tom DeLonge still? Like, was he bought out of the business entirely? Does he still get like revenue from whenever they go tour live because like he's technically a founding member? Like, it just like the back end business agreement is very fascinating because that band is still
there's
making,
no like normal deal that's pretty typical that everyone's different.
I mean there might be some precedent like for other instances like this.
You think that Tom would have to agree on some level to let them go out and perform those songs and stuff like that?
Yeah, you think so.
You'd think they would come to some sort of like equitable agreement where Tom's like, yeah, cool, go. Like ostensibly replace me and go out and do that
but I want to cut
100%.
I want some merch. I
wrote 50% of the biggest hits, all that stuff.
Yeah, like the people who go into that show are looking for my songs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think with Bare Naked Ladies, the deal is Stephen Page can do Bare Naked Lady songs and Chickadee China can do his songs too?
They do both, right? Well, Steven wrote all the pretty big ones.
I heard Ed wrote most of the hits.
Ed, I mean, they're pretty equal. I'd have to do like a graph of it or whatever. But I mean, Steven did Brian Wilson.
Yeah.
Old Apartment. It's
but those are their
done.
Canadian hits.
Yeah, 1 Week is an Ed song though.
Yeah, I know.
And also,
that's what I
1
mean.
Week is Ed also wrote the Big Bang theme song, which arguably is their most well-known song. It's
probably their highest earning song.
Yeah, in Middle America.
And Pinch Me, I believe, is an Ed one.
Yeah, that's an Ed. Yeah, I do love Pinch Me.
I love Pinch Me.
What's that other song? Thanks, that was fun. That was off the greatest hits album.
What was the follow-up hit to 1 Week? It was like
I thought it was Pinch Me.
It's all been done.
Yeah,
it's all been
that's
done.
Steven.
That sounds like Steven.
Yeah, it's a Steven song.
Yeah, I like that one.
Yeah. But yeah, the show was awesome. And
were you guys able to get drunk a second night in a row? I guess a third for you since you were out Friday night.
Yeah.
Wait, we're saying you were drunk when you came out for Jay Kelly's thing?
Oh yeah, I was having a time. Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
You seem skeptical, Shane.
How many drinks?
Well,
to get
maybe
drunk?
I was too drunk.
I mean, it kind of depends actually when my last meal was. Like if I could have like a pint if I like just went to the gym or something and haven't eaten in a while, 1 pint will get me. But also if you just had a big meal, it might take like 5 drinks to get.
Yeah.
A little loose. You know how that works.
So how'd the night go? You guys
the night was great.
Did Julian stay in Toronto on Sunday?
No, he stayed with us for a bit and then ended up having to take the go bus back because it was a work day for him the next day. But Jules was raging as hard as he ever has. And if you check out Arkel's Instagram stories, his like shirts open, a lot of good feedback on Instagram from people. Who's like,
do Arkel's fans know who Julian is now definitively just because he's appeared in a couple songs?
Yeah, and he also, I think because we used to go out together more, he'd appear on Arkel's Instagram more. So I think, there are definitely people that are like, oh, I know that guy. That guy always shows up in Arkel's Instagram.
Yeah. And then what happened after Jules leaves? Do you guys do the whole? Do you meet up with the Nut? Do you have
the Nut? Was not in. We went to a bar, but it wasn't actually a very late night.
Oh.
Yeah, but tonight I might be going to Jennifer Lopez.
Oh,
so that's a tease.
Is this a second night in a row?
Yeah, she did.
Okay, I saw people on social media last night going to J.Lo.
Yeah,
I didn't even know she was in town. Does she do the Scotiabank?
Yeah, Scotiabank.
2 nights.
2 nights at Scotiabank.
People love J.Lo.
Damn. Apparently.
Can you name 3 hits?
Are you kidding me? I love J.Lo.
Okay.
J.Lo was like You know, because you guys were talking about He Got Game. Like,
Yeah.
if you were to go like my pantheon of like max crushes from like age 12 to 14 or something, Rosario Dawson definitely up there, and Jennifer Lopez.
Really?
Oh yeah, I'm Real remix with Ja Rule. That's one of my favorite songs of all time. Waiting for Tonight.
That's with
song.
Enrique, right?
No,
That's
that's
a
just
solo
her.
hit, I think.
Oh, okay.
Waiting for tonight.
Oh.
I knew her from Selena.
Oh,
I
yeah.
believe it was her
Yeah.
second film she ever did.
Yeah.
Do you think she's known more for acting or singing?
Now singing.
Yeah, for real,
Yeah.
eh?
I guess she doesn't really act that much either. Like, I guess she was like Made in Manhattan and shit.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that was like
out of
15
sight.
years ago.
Out of sight.
Oh,
was
Out of
like-
Sight with
that was-
George Clooney.
She was great in that.
Yeah.
But again, like you said, Chin, these are like 20 years ago. Made Manhattan.
I like Selena. That was
yeah.
good.
That was like a first. She wasn't even a star yet, though.
No.
That kind of like made her.
Yeah. And she
Put
was
her
a
on the
fly
map.
girl.
She's
Yeah.
in living color.
That's right.
So you're gonna go tonight.
I think I might.
Nice.
I was
So-
invited.
Who are you going with?
Ash. Manager
Oh,
Ash.
nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
Lauren's in Dundas tonight, so I don't know.
Going for it.
Why not?
Is Manager Ash a big J.Lo fan?
No, but okay, I'll be honest with you. So we were invited to go from our friend who has a suite there. So like, I can fun. I have nothing to do tonight.
Can
Why
you
not?
say who the friend is?
Just a guy who works for Live Nation. Not the nut.
Is it Dubas?
No. There's a guy you won't know. He's our promoter. And I was like, so I text him. I say, who's in the suite? Like, is this going to be an annoying hang or is this going to be a fun schmooze? Like, which is it? Because sometimes you go to the suite and there's people you don't want to run into or just like it's going to feel like work. But then sometimes you go and you're like, oh, this is actually an awesome hang. There's like cool people around. This is good. And he goes, I don't know if I can say this on the air.
I can beep it.
You can cut the story now, but I like this tease. Everything about the story I've enjoyed so far.
So I'll just say it now, and then I'll ask for permission later. We might have to beat the name.
Yeah.
But he goes, yeah, it's gonna be a cool hang. Got some friends in town. Minka Kelly's gonna be there. So what? So I'm like,
Whoa.
we're in. And I was debating telling you guys because I was like, it'd be fun if you guys didn't know, and then
She
I came
just showed
back
up
with
at
the story.
Oh man, no, but this
this
builds
is good.
anticipation.
Okay.
So you're gonna hang out with Minka Kelly.
Maybe. If
I
she's there.
thought you were making J-Lo seem way too cool. You're like, I'm going to see J-Lo. And we didn't really give a shit. But that's why you have something really cool in the chamber.
Yeah. So-
I knew there was more to the
Guys,
story.
okay, if she's there,
Yeah.
I guess I have a girlfriend, but she, but I, I mean, no, I was more talking about like conversation, what we,
More?
Well, I don't know. Yeah. Well, your girlfriend sounds like a bit of a nag anyway.
Minka wouldn't mind if you were checking out NBA news on your phone.
yeah,
So what are you guys gonna talk about?
I don't know.
Are you, okay. Here's a question. So when you
I'm
see,
a big Friday Night Lights fan.
I know you
I
are.
can talk about that.
So, well, she's also in that show. I think they might shoot it here, the Teen Titans show or whatever. That
Yeah, I think that's why
Titans.
she's in town.
Yeah. So you're in the suite. You're with Ash. She's with a couple friends.
I go Jeter, good lay, or
That's your icebreaker. Oh my goodness. But seriously, how do you just kind of go, oh, hey, I'm Max, and go up, or do you wait until you're both at like the food station getting some chicken
well,
fingers?
usually those things are like there's usually only 12 people there. So,
I know.
So most of the time, anybody in the suite at the beginning of the night, I go, oh hey, good to meet you. Max, or
wait,
whatever.
Jeter was with Minka Kelly?
Oh yeah, they were
a
like
famous relationship.
married.
And A-Rod is with J-Lo.
yeah,
A-Rod might be there tonight.
That'd be crazy if A-Rod was in the
I
suite.
feel like A-Rod and J-Lo are a very fit couple.
Oh, definitely.
You know, like I remember when A-Rod was with Madonna. I was like, oh, they both seem like workout freaks.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
I think I need to go work out after this podcast before the show.
Well, I
I
the
gotta
minute
pull it
we stop
together.
recording, he's doing crunches. I'm coming, Minka. Yeah, he walks into the suite shirtless. I'm Max Kerman, Arkels.
I think the move is Friday. If there's an angle to talk, well, you don't want to get right into business. You don't want to talk about that.
And she probably only ever meet like I bet you Friday Night Lights fans are always nerding out over
Yeah,
her.
you're right.
Act like you don't know who she is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's the move.
Or don't care.
I go, hey Max, who the fuck are you?
Who let you in here?
yeah.
No. Or just be like, hey, I'm Max. I'm a fan of your work. And then keep it moving. Well, you know what? Maybe actually your approach is better, which is like fan out. Because that's genuine. You are genuine, excited to see her. You're a huge Friday Night Lights fan.
Yeah.
Just be yourself.
Yeah, just be myself. Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Usually I'm pretty good at making conversation with like randoms because I have with the band, I always have to talk to random people, and I can always I'm always interested in like where people are from, like what neighborhood they're staying in, like what hotel room. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm kidding.
What are the odds that the next time we're
Oh my god.
That in like what are the odds that in like a week
Yeah.
we're all hanging out and Mac's like, I'm coming out and bringing a friend. Don't make a big deal out of it. And we're having a drink at like locals only with Minka Kelly.
I think pretty high. Yeah, I think it was.
Such an optimist. She's joining our friend group.
I
guys.
do. I've joked around with Lauren that a celebrity relationship would do the band.
I was just saying a friendship. Oh, you're saying okay if you do go into like a okay I like this.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, friendship, I suppose, is an option as well.
Well, that was what I was
went
suggesting.
straight for just straight up girlfriend.
But you were saying so you've said to Lauren before like a celebrity relationship.
Yeah, I told Lauren, like, listen, I admire the stuff you're doing as a nurse. You're helping a lot of people, but it's doing nothing for the band's career. So, like, can we work out a situation where I
This
can...
is why she speaks to you like that.
I mean,
Good
for
on
listeners,
Lauren.
I'm obviously kidding.
He's kidding. Did you actually, speaking of that, I saw Universal Music. So I was on the Michael Much Instagram for a second today, and Universal Music popped. And we follow a ton of people on Michael Much that are like music industry stuff because I don't follow Universal on my own. And they had a video of Shawn Mendes and
Camila Cabello.
Thank you, holding hands, like, but shot from like inside a car secretly, and it's like they're leaving the gym or something. They're going to get like ice cream, but they're holding hands, and they're like, who thinks they're just friends? Like for this, comment for this, and I was like, huh. I was like, this is an interesting post because they're probably both on the label.
They're both on Universal.
But it felt weirdly staged.
It
too.
does. Oh my god, I think it's so staged.
It was very weird. Did you see the video I'm talking about?
I've seen pictures being leaked, and I'm like, this feels like a weird setup, trying to act like it's not.
But this
it
gets
is.
to Max's point about a relationship between two famous people mutually benefits both careers and interest.
I actually have great tea on that, which I will not say on air.
You're not going to spill it?
Nope.
All right.
But I'll tell you guys after.
Okay. There's a tease.
Well, I had a good Yankees joke that I cannot say, but it's just if you're wondering why I was like holding back. The whole thing.
You can't say it?
No, it was just I was just gonna say, okay, I like Yankees, and then I was
like that's a hand job joke.
and then I had a sound effect to go with it, but I can't say it. But that's why I've been like just dying here.
You're like sweating.
Holding it back.
I'm like, should I say it? Should I? No.
Man.
Oh man. Well, what where are we at
are we
here,
at right
Erica?
now?
What's
All
our
right, 47 minutes.
shit?
Wow, okay,
Just
look.
shooting the poop.
Yeah.
So is the chatting part done?
Uh,
Now do we go to like the topics part?
yeah, I thought that was one of the topics. What were the topics? Okay, let's get
The-
to
the-
US
the-
women's
okay, so
soccer.
congratulations to the U.S. Women's National Team. They just won the World Cup of Soccer.
Like, I'm not even in the mood to talk about the Epstein thing, unless you guys are.
No, we don't have to hit it.
Just
Okay.
after, okay, whatever. But, okay, U.S. women's
do
soccer.
another
we
one
already
this
talked
week.
about cinephiles.
Yeah, that's true.
That's enough.
Good work, Shane. That's one of your best ones. Yeah, that's good.
Oh shit. Okay, so like I said, congrats to the U.S. Women's National Team for winning the World Cup of Soccer. It was pretty exciting. Obviously, if you've been paying attention, there's been some controversy because they've all been outspoken. A couple of them have, most particularly Megan Rapinoe about not wanting to visit the White House. And then Trump tweeted about her, but he added the wrong Megan. And it's all been kind of a mess. And he was like, maybe win first before you even decide. So they go out and they win the whole damn thing.
Yeah.
The reason I bring this story up, Bleacher Report deletes tweet containing god-awful U.S. Women's National Team graphic. So I guess Bleacher Report or some animator at Bleacher Report put together this picture.
And we'll put this up on our Instagram page. So if you're listening, go to our Instagram right now, and it'll be in our stories.
It will be in our stories. So somebody there to congratulate this team put together a photo, like I guess congratulating America. So in the front are 15.
And it's like a cartoonish kind of. It's not like it's not a Photoshop. It's like
Yeah, it's like a caricature or a
Caricatures,
cartoon
yeah.
thing. Like you see this a lot with championship teams. So in the first row is like 15 of the women on the team, not even the whole team. And then there's 3 full rows in the back of other American icons, such
And Iron Man.
such as Iron Man, Will Smith, Tom Cruise from Top Gun, the cast of Friends. Matthew Perry's a Canadian, by the way, and or identifies as such. Steve Carell from The Office, the Stranger Things cast, like Zac Efron, Jay-Z, Kobe Bryant, LeBron James. Like I don't understand. So in this Deadspin article, they say immediately people began to question the existence of such a cringeworthy monstrosity of graphic art, and the tweet was deleted within the hour. Not before we were able to save it for posterity's sake. Of course, we will put this up like Max said. Let's start with the simple issues. There were 23 players on the U.S. Women's National Team roster that went to France for this tournament, and only 15 of them are present in the graphic. Never mind that coach Jill Ellis is missing. outside of the players, there are 28 men and 22 women. So there's clearly room to fix those numbers and include some missing players by getting rid of some of the extraneous individuals that seemingly have nothing to do with the team. Again, why are the cast of Modern Family, Friends, Stranger Things on here? Why is Brad Pitt one row closer to the U.S. Women's National Team than a Christian Pulisic, a current player for the U.S. National Men's Team is? Hell, why is Zac Efron in front of Lynn and Donovan and Clint Dempsey? What is about J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar that warrants them both being on here over other rappers? Why are 3 fictional characters here, such as Iron Man? Why can't the athletes who have played for the U.S. in some capacity in those uniforms? Why is Kobe Bryant on here at all? So anyway.
Honestly, when you said that, I literally burst out laughing.
I didn't think this was actually real. I thought it was a thing where this is an insensitive joke, and they took it down because it was like an Onion thing.
No, Bleacher Report.
This is real life. They did this.
They built this graphic and said, congratulations to the team. Congratulations, America. And I guess they're celebrating Americana. I didn't see the original Bleacher Report, so I can't speak to your question. Was it done ironically? Is it a weird sort of like commentary?
The fact they took it down means that they probably like, oh, I guess we misstepped here.
We missed the mark. Yeah, that's the only thing. Like, to Shane's point, like, yeah, was it some weird satire on what Americana is? Or was it like a genuine, heartfelt sort of congratulations?
I guess the aim was to be like, we're adding these women to the pantheon of great American icons, basically. Okay. Like cultural icons that are important to us now, and they will like live on forever in the way the cast of Friends has, or whatever. Like I guess like that's.
But maybe to cut out some of the players who are on the actual team, that's ice cold.
Well, this is why it's such a stupid idea.
Mm-hmm. Well, come on, how are you going to fit Zac Efron if you put all of the women on there?
Yeah, that team, not that I follow women's soccer at all, or any soccer for that matter.
I have been watching these games, actually.
Yeah, but the story is amazing. And did you see the ESPN Body cover that just came out today?
No.
So it's with Megan Rapinoe and her girlfriend, Sue Bird, both naked. And the first time a lesbian couple, I think, is on the cover of the magazine together.
Sue Bird, legendary WNBA player.
That's right. And she wrote this hilarious, heartfelt, like kind of public letter about her relationship with Megan that just came out last week, like what it's like to have the American president be tweeting at you. But both Sue Bird and Megan Rapinoe are both so cool and so funny that like I always think that when it comes to being anti-Trump and people who are very fed up with Trump, sometimes the tone that you shoot back or you clap back kind of misses the mark because you're either like too angry about it,
you're wagging a finger,
or you're waving a finger, or you're being condescending, or you're making fun. Mm-hmm. But I found, at least for me, her style of talking about the whole thing.
Sue Bird's piece.
Sue Bird, but also Megan Rapinoe in the interviews. She's so fucking cool about it all. Like she is sort of the epitome of like, I want her in a debate versus Donald Trump. Like that like, you know, when Hillary was in against Donald Trump in debates before the last election, it was just like, she's sometimes getting a little too upset or just not really
bogged down in details. You have to kind of be like him, where you can be cool and funny. Like, he's not cool and funny, but he is. We've talked about this before. He's very good with sort of identifying sound-biteable things that he can just hit you with, and that takes a certain amount of like.
He's funny. He has
and
great
not getting
comedic time.
And not getting frazzled by anything.
Exactly.
And Rapinoe didn't get frazzled at all.
She knows herself, man.
Did you see where Hillary tried to be funny though that one time when?
But it felt like it was pre-written.
When she was talking about Pokemon Go.
No.
And like Pokemon Go is very popular for like 2 weeks, so she tried to be topical. She's like, people say Pokemon Go. I say to Trump, Pokemon no. And it was like, it was the stupidest thing ever. Anyway.
Man. But anyway, Megan Rapinoe for president. She's awesome.
Yeah, so she really sort of won this news cycle, and obviously them winning, and it's a big moment for her.
Yeah.
And the women's national soccer team. Anyway, the games were great, and it was pretty fun. I actually didn't realize that this is like their 4th time winning it.
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're kind of like a legendary team.
Like a powerhouse.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, given that the men's team is pretty terrible and the rest of the world is so good at soccer. So the fact that the women's program is as strong as it is quite impressive.
Really works, and they've all become stars. Hey, did you guys watch Coco, this 15-year-old tennis player that's at Wimbledon right now?
Yeah.
I heard about it. I didn't see it.
Yeah, I just saw it.
Coco's a woman's name?
Yeah, she's like a 15-year-old tennis prodigy. And she was blowing up Twitter, like, I want to say on Friday, because Danica loves tennis and Wimbledon in particular. So I was like, hey, everyone's losing their mind over this 15-year-old. She won like the 3rd round, and like her parents were going nuts. They're comparing her to like Serena Williams and all this stuff. And she was like, but anyway, the reason I bring this up is because she's a New Balance athlete. And so it's like New Balance is literally hitting on all cylinders right now.
Yeah.
Like getting Kawhi was a stroke. Obviously, like you can't plan for that necessarily, but it was like huge for them. And then now they have this 15-year-old prodigy that everybody's talking about. I haven't been following Wimbledon. She might already be out, or maybe she's moved on. But anyway,
Hey, is that a bucket list thing for Danica to go to Wimbledon?
She has been.
Oh, she's been?
She hasn't.
Oh.
No, she hasn't been to Wimbledon. We've gone to tennis matches here.
You should go. Like Mike and Nick went when we were in England on tour at some point. And
That's
they
a
loved
great
it.
idea.
You should make plan.
How
it.
much do tickets cost?
It's funny. It's like this. I'm gonna get this wrong, but it's like this old school system where you wait in the queue and like tickets aren't that expensive, but they're like open to the public, and it's not like trying to get like seats to like a championship game, you know, in the NBA or something like that. It's like normal people can go. I think there's a lottery or a system that allows anybody to go.
This is a great suggestion.
Yeah, you should do
Like,
it.
We
Go-
should do a family trip to England.
To England,
and
you
plan
love
it.
England.
I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah. And we do got to go to Europe because
Yeah.
at some point I kept some of my dad's ashes and we're going to scatter them at Amsterdam.
Oh well,
We're-
you
he
should
grew
go
up
there and
for
then
the
hop
first few years of his
a
life.
quick flight to Amsterdam.
I think that would be the play.
Yeah.
And we'll go to Wimbledon. Max,
Yeah.
you might have just planned my my vacation for next
Yeah,
year.
you totally should. Would you bring the kid? Or do you have to bring the kid? You probably do. Eh?
Yeah, there's not. You know, it's like, hey, we're going away for 2 weeks. Who wants her?
Oh.
Uncle Greg, what are you
Yeah,
doing for
Greg
2
boy.
weeks? Yeah.
Can you imagine?
No, I cannot. Maybe a couple days. Uncle Greg's been great. My brother's been awesome with the baby. I'm just like, I don't think he'd want to hang out with the kid for 2 weeks. Like, clearly he likes going to Blink-182 concerts.
Yeah, but you
and-
know, there's like I don't know. It's like she's got sisters and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess
See,
I-
you don't
I-
spend a lot of time around babies.
I don't know anything.
You
man.
can't dump them off on people for 2 weeks.
No.
Shaney, how do you think that would fly? You guys leaving Lou with somebody for 2 weeks?
No. Well, it'd be better because we have so much help and they're very good with babies.
Right.
But to younger people, like, yeah, babies are a burden.
Yeah, I guess 2 weeks is a little while. If it was like a week, maybe. And I don't know if you'd want to leave, or if Danica would feel good about like leaving a baby.
Listen,
for that
Maxie,
long.
where we go, the baby goes.
Fair enough.
That's what happens when you become a parent.
I just don't want to be on that fucking flight with a crying baby. I'm like hilariously just like don't know anything when it comes to my nephew and nieces, like, and just protocol and shit like that. And it was my 4-year-old nephew's birthday on Saturday. That's why I was late, actually.
You still have glitter on your face.
Yeah,
by the
so
way.
You showed up with so much glitter on your face.
Yeah, well, there was a face painter that came. My sister threw a bit of a rager for her 4-year-old Kai, and I got all done up and was looking good. But it was funny, like, I really wanted to get my face painted, but I also wanted to get the hell out of there because I had been there for like an hour already, and I was like, I'm reaching my time limit. But I also thought it'd be funny if I had my face painted. So the first kid goes. There's probably like 8 kids there. I'm like, I'm going second. So I butt everybody. Lauren documented it on her Instagram story, and I got my face painted, took a couple cool photos, and was on my way. But also, speaking of bad uncles, I remember I was hanging out with my other nephew, Lex. This was a couple years ago. He was probably like 7 years old, and I had to move the band van from Kensington Market, just like 4 blocks up the street, to a parking lot. And we were like, I picked him up from school, which is right near Kensington Market. And we were like walking around. I was like, I got a coffee. I always try to do adult stuff with kids. I'm like, do you want to go for a coffee? Read the paper? And they're like, I guess. I'm like, they're not really that interested. But I threw him in the car and we like drove up and I told Emily. She's like, oh, what do you guys do? I was like, oh, I had to move the van, whatever. She's like, you did what? I was like, I moved the van. And she's like, does the van have a car seat? Oh. And then I was like, no. And then she's like, where did he sit? I was like, in the front seat.
Oh my God, Matt.
There's airbags. Don't worry.
and she was like, Max, like, that's against the law. Like,
Yeah.
are you fucking stupid? I was like, oh, wow. I didn't thought, never crossed my mind. And I remember thinking, even like asking Lex, like when he's like putting the seatbelt on, I'm like, you good? He's like, I think. I was like, cool. I mean, it was literally 4 blocks away on very slow-moving city streets. So I didn't really put the kid too much at risk, but that's an example of me really not.
Don't walk it back. You're
Yeah.
a terrible uncle.
Butting in line at the birthday party.
It's my pain. You're Larry David incarnate.
Oh my God! Of course. Yeah.
Yeah, guys, you want to wrap it?
Let's wrap it. Do you have another subject?
Oh, I thought there was another topic.
It was that Trump thing.
The Trump Epstein thing.
That's a
Oh,
buzzkill.
no. Yeah,
That's pretty heavy.
Yeah. Let's
We're
save that
feeling
for another
loose.
day.
We'll do it on another day.
Yeah.
We're gonna do another one this week, Maxie.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're gonna get this one. What, later tonight or tomorrow? What are we looking at, Erica?
Tonight.
Woo, shit! All right,
And we'll let you know how my big J.Lo concert goes.
So what do you think? Wednesday morning?
Yeah.
Okay, Wednesday morning we're gonna record again.
Perfect.
That perfect for you?
Yeah. Wednesday morning.
Dope. And then Friday, there'll be an episode of The Pedestal. It is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle one. Then we have 9 more that will be coming up on the Micah Much feed every Friday for 10 freaking weeks.
Oh, last thing. Speaking of podcasts, my favorite political podcast, the Slate Political Gabfest, which is a Washington, D.C. Show that with 3 co-hosts, John Dickerson, who's on 60 Minutes, David Plotz, and Emily Bazelon, who's a writer for the New York Times Magazine. They're doing a live show in Toronto on Wednesday, and I'm going to it. And if you like politics and smart people talking, come to that. I'll be there. We can hang out.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Cool. Should we kick in the music?
Yep.
Did you have something to say, Matt?
Well, I was just going to ask you who your favorite turtle was, or what turtle represents your personality.
Ninja Turtle.
Just end it the way we started.
Oh, probably Raphael.
Oh.
You don't know
I
any of the
don't know.
turtles' personalities. I knew it. I knew you wouldn't.
Mike on Much can be found on Twitter and Instagram at Mike on Much. You can subscribe to the show on any platform that has podcasts, Spotify. Do it.